Now, as you've heard, Alan Jones is about to retire from radio. Halfway through a 2-year contract, unassailable in the ratings, he will go out on top. Jones is energetic, passionate, opinionated, powerful and widely feared. He's also generous, caring, dedicated, informed and widely loved. Little wonder so many have had something to say about him today.
You've always spoken your mind to everybody, including me, over the years, and we've had one or two disagreements, but you've always done the right thing by your country, and we're very proud of that.
He's had a very long and successful career, and not everybody gets to retire when they're at the top of their game. So congratulations to him, and I wish him all the best.
Lots of understandable praise around the place, and from his enemies there's lots of hate. People who have always resented Jones' success, people who want to focus on blemishes for which he's apologised, even people dishonestly trying to claim some credit for his departure. They are deluding themselves. Nothing has forced this man's hand. He's finally accepted the advice of doctors and he's going to ease up on a gruelling schedule and go out on his terms with a peerless record. His listeners, and they are legion, will sorely miss him. They will weep, literally, believe me. Many of you will know. And apart from missing his company, they know they're losing a champion. Whether you agree with his causes or not, you know Alan Jones champions them with a vigour and dedication few possess. And he's done that publicly and privately for people who could rely on no one else, the people Robert Menzies would call the forgotten people. To my mind, that's the key to Jones, what makes him unique. He is, of course, a master broadcaster, interviewer and analyst, but more than that, he's an advocate for people and livelihoods, sometimes against developments, sometimes for them, sometimes for governments, likewise sometimes against them, and for sports and sports people, for music and theatre, for so many things on such a wide variety of interests. But ultimately, he's an advocate for the great Australian mainstream. While the haters will focus on times he's lost his temper during hundreds, thousands of hours of live radio, it's worth pointing out his old-fashioned courtesy, responding to all correspondence, writing to ministers on behalf of listeners, following through on all his commitments to help. This is starting to sound like a eulogy, which is silly because Alan will continue to host television here, write for the papers and be active in other areas. He won't be silent. In some ways, we might see more of him. But this is a momentous day for our national debate because the Alan Jones Breakfast Show has been an agenda setter and a clearinghouse for decades. Behind the scenes, I've experienced and seen Alan's wonderful generosity. He works diligently and helps people relentlessly. He's uncommonly busy, yet remarkably generous with his time. Earlier today, I spoke about Alan with another radio legend, John Laws.
He does everything right. He's a good broadcaster. I mean, he's been successful for a while, not as long as me. I've been around for 66 years. So I've seen a few come and go, but I haven't seen anybody better than Alan.
Now, this was one of the more unusual interviews I've done. I'll have the interview for you in full later in the program. But to Alan Jones, congratulations on what's going to be the end of an era in Australian broadcasting.